If you want to learn how to use keyframe in CapCut so you can move things around like this, rotate them, make them smaller, make them bigger, or animate them any way you want. You can also zoom in like this. You can also move the camera to anywhere you want. You can also zoom out like that. You can also fade to black, and you can also fade in just like this. You can also track a subject for vertical videos and much more. Keep watching because this video will show you how to use keyframe in CapCut step by step. Alright, let's use this video as an example. So we'll start out with the basics, how we can use keyframe to move an image or a text. So I'll start out with an image. So first, let me just position it like this. Okay. So how do we use keyframe to move an image? So first you have to decide when you want to start moving the image. Now let's say I want to start moving it at around this point. So just move the line to where you want to start moving it. And if you look over on the right side, there is position and size. And on the right side, there is this little diamond that says Add Keyframe. So I'm going to click on it. And here you can see for the image, we now have a keyframe. A keyframe will appear as a diamond like this. So you got to add your first keyframe and then just go in front of the video like this, anywhere you want, and then you move the image to where you want it to be. So let's say I want to move the image from here to here, then I'll just move it like this. And when I let go of my mouse, you're going to see that another keyframe will be automatically added. So now if I play the video and I'll show you what happens between the first keyframe and the second keyframe. So it's going to move from here to here. Now you can see it moves very slowly, right? If you want it to move quickly, then just bring the keyframes closer to each other. So if I bring it closer like this, and now I play the video, you can see it moves much faster. And if you bring it even closer, it'll be even faster like that. So you can control how fast you want the animation to be. The closer it is, the faster, and the further they are, the longer it will take. So let's just move it something like this. So here you can see we always add two keyframes most of the time. The first keyframe is before and the second keyframe is after. So before at the start is going to look like this, and then at the end it's going to look like that. Okay, so this is how you move an image from here to here. And now let's say we want to rotate the image. Here's how to do it. We add a keyframe like this, click on Add Keyframe, and then just go in front, and then we can rotate. And you'll notice that when I rotate, another keyframe will be added over here. So I'm just going to rotate like this, and then once I let go, you can see we have another keyframe. So if I play the video at this point, you can see that the arrow will rotate. You can also make things bigger or smaller. So I'll show you again. Let me add a keyframe. I go in front a little bit, and now I'm going to make it smaller. I can do something like this to make it smaller. And now if I play the video, you can see the arrow gets smaller. And of course, we can also make the arrow or anything become bigger. So just like before, we add a keyframe, click. So we have our first keyframe here, go in front a little bit, and then we adjust it. So now I want to make it bigger. Then I can also adjust it with the scale. Of course, I can use the arrows like this, but I'm going to use the scale over here. So now if I go back again, we can see that it's going to become bigger. So here you can see we have all these keyframes over here, which will control the thing that you want to adjust. So in this case, it's this image, this graphic of an arrow. So here I'll play it, and you can see that all these keyframes are before and after. Okay, so this is before and after, and then before and after. So I'll just play it so you can see exactly how it looks like. Okay, so you can move, you can rotate like this, you can make it smaller, you can also make it bigger, and you can also do all of those things at the same time. So I'm just going to combine everything to show you, but this time around, let me just do it with a text. Okay, so I'll add a text like this, and let's just write something like subscribe, which you should. Okay, so we can add our keyframe over here by looking for position and size. You see position and size on the right side, you can add a keyframe. So add a keyframe over here at the start, and then I'll move forward a bit, and then I'll just adjust it to where I want it to look like after. So I want to move it over here. I want to rotate it, and maybe I'll make it smaller like this. So it's gonna end up over here. Now, if I play the video, you're gonna see that it's gonna slowly move there and it's gonna rotate and become smaller at the same time. Okay, so just like this, let me play it. You can see this is how you can control the animation. So always remember, when you want to animate any image, any graphic, any picture, any photo, or any text, you always have to add 2 keyframes. Now moving on, let me show you how to use keyframes to zoom in. So first, we have to decide when you want to start zooming in. It could be at the start of the video, or it could be any point. So let's just say we want to zoom in at the start of the video. Then make sure you click on the video, and then on the right side of position and size, click on add keyframe, and then just go forward a bit. And then now we want to zoom in. Just zoom into exactly where you want it to be. So to zoom in, you can just adjust the scale. So if I just drag it to the right, we can zoom in like this. And you can, of course, move it to anywhere you want. So in this case, let's just zoom into here like this. So remember, we have 2 keyframes, right? The before and after. So it's going to start off like this, and it's going to end up looking like that. And you can control exactly how you want it to look like in the end. So now play the video. And as you can see, it's going to zoom in like that. So if you want to zoom in slowly, make sure the keyframes are far apart. The further they are, the slower the zoom. Right? Now, if you want it to zoom in fast, then just bring them close to each other like this. And if I play the video, you can see now it zooms in a lot faster. You can make it a lot faster if you bring them very close. If I play it, you can see it zooms in very fast. And if I do something like this, you can see that it will zoom in very, very slowly all the way to this point. Now, after you zoom in, you can also move the camera around. So to move the camera around, you can do the same thing. Remember, most of the time, you're going to add 2 keyframes. So I'll add a keyframe again. I'll go in front a bit. And this time around, I can move the camera. Just move it to anywhere you want. Let's say I want to move it to this building like that. Okay. And then now, if I play the video, you can see that it's going to move to exactly where I moved it to. You can also move and zoom in at the same time. If I add another keyframe, I'll go in front. I can move to here. Like this. I can also zoom in like that. And if I play the video, you can see that it's going to move to exactly where I set the second keyframe to be. So as you can see, most situations, you just add 2 keyframes, and the first keyframe is the before, and the second keyframe is the after. Now to zoom out, it's also very easy. First, you just decide when you want to start zooming out. Let's say around this point, you just add a keyframe, and then you go in front a bit. And then you got to adjust the video back to its original position because you want to zoom out. So for scale, you want to bring it back to 100%. You can just type it in like this, 100, press enter. And then for the position, you got to change these 2 back to 0. So if I change this to 0 like this, change it to 0, hit enter, it's going to bring the video back to its original position because we want to zoom out. So remember, this is the first keyframe, which is before. And then the second keyframe is the after. Just adjust the second keyframe to how you want it to look like at the end. So now if I play the video, you're going to see that it zooms out from here to here. And again, if you want to zoom out slowly, then just bring those 2 keyframes further apart. And you can see it will zoom out very, very slowly. And if you want to zoom out fast, then bring these 2 keyframes closer together. The closer it is, the faster it's going to zoom out. As you can see, for opacity, you can also add a keyframe. So there's a lot of things in CapCut that you can add a keyframe and you can create any kind of effect that you can imagine. So for opacity, if I add a keyframe like this, I can then move in front like that. And then I adjust the opacity down to 0%. As you can see, if I bring it down to 0%, it's basically going to make it black, right? And then if I play the video, as you can see, the first keyframe, the opacity is 100%. And then the second keyframe is 0%. That means between these 2 keyframes, the opacity will slowly decrease to 0%. And it's going to create this effect where it fades to black just like this. And of course, you can do the opposite to fade into any video. So I'll show you one example. I'll add a keyframe like this. So the first keyframe has 0% opacity. I go in front a bit. And then this time around, I'm going to bring the opacity to 100% like this. And I let go. You can see we have another keyframe. So if I play the video here, you can see it's going to fade in. So if you look around CapCut, there are actually a lot of things that you can add keyframes to. Just look on the right side. If there's a diamond, then you can add a keyframe. You can also add keyframes to video effects. So let me just show you an example. If I click on effects, there are a lot of effects on CapCut, but let me just show you one as an example. If I go to lens, and if I use the blur effect, if I click and hold, I can bring it down to the video like this. And as you can see, this part, the video will blur, right? So from here, if I play, it's going to become blur like this. So you can see that it becomes blur very suddenly, right? It just goes from normal and then suddenly the entire video is blur. But if you look over here on the right side, for video effects, you can also add a keyframe. So as long as there's a diamond, you can add a keyframe. So we can create an effect where the blur comes on smoothly. I can go to the start of this video effect. I press the up arrow key to here. I can add a keyframe and let's start with 0. Okay. And then I go in front like this. And then I bring the blur up to however high I want it to be. Maybe like this. So this way with a keyframe, then the blur effect will come on smoothly, right? It's going to start from 0 and then slowly it increases all the way up to the second keyframe, which is 30, which is how we want it to look like in the end, right? So if I play the video now, you can see that it will slowly become blur, right? Compared to if we don't have any keyframes, then it's just going to become blur like that, which doesn't look very nice. So you can also add keyframe to video effects. Now moving on, let me show you how you can use keyframe to track a subject. So here you can see in this video, she is dancing and she's moving around. So if we were to zoom in, so I'm just going to zoom in first. I'll click on a keyframe over here. I go in front a little bit and then I increase the scale to zoom in maybe like this. Okay. So if I play the video, so you can see it zooms into her, she's in the middle, and then you'll notice that she's going to start to dance and she's going to move out of frame. She's going to move out of the video. So we want the camera to track her, right? So how do we fix this? We can do it using keyframe. Now remember, most of the time when it comes to keyframe, you always add 2 keyframes to move it from point A to point B, before and after. But when it comes to tracking, we only use 1 keyframe at a time. And let me just show you how it's done. So I go to the start, you can see it zooms in. And at this point, you can see, let's just assume I want to keep her in the middle of the video. So here you can see she's in the middle, right? As I continue, right now she's not in the middle. So I can actually move the video like this. And as I move it, you'll see that another keyframe will be added. Then just play the video again, like this. So she's still in the middle. Eventually, she starts to move to the left, right? At this point, you see she's moving to the left. I can pause the video. I just move the video like this. And then once I let go, you're going to see that another keyframe will automatically appear. Boom. So when it comes to tracking, you don't have to keep adding 2 keyframes. You just add 1 keyframe at a time to track the person. Here she's out of frame. We got to move her back to the middle like that. Then I play the video again. And here she's out of frame. So I pause it. And then again, I just bring her back to the middle. And I let go. Another keyframe is automatically added. Play it again. She's again out of frame. I pause it. And then I just move it back. And now if I play the video, you can see that she is in the middle at all time because we are using all these keyframes to track her. Alright, moving on, let me show you how you can use keyframe to track a vertical video. So this video is a widescreen video. This is for YouTube, right? But what if you want to create a vertical video like for TikTok or YouTube Shorts? So first, we want to change the aspect ratio. You can click on this and then you change it to 9:16 and now it looks like that. So first, we want to adjust the video. So let me just make sure we go to the start of the video and then I'll just adjust it like this. I'll just drag it out so that it fits the video. And let's move her to be in the middle like this. So first, if I play the video, you can see that we have a problem, right? She's like moving out of frame like this. And then over here, she actually moves out of the video. So we need to use keyframe to track her, right? So to do that, we have to first add a keyframe, right? So you go to the start of the video, add a keyframe, I position and size, I'll add 1 keyframe. And then from here on, remember when it comes to tracking, you only need 1 keyframe at a time. So it's very easy. We just play the video and whenever she's out of frame, we just pause it. So now you can see she's not in the middle anymore. I pause the video and I'm just going to move her back to the middle and you're going to notice that a keyframe will be automatically added. So I'm just going to move her like this. I let go of my mouse. Boom. A keyframe is there. Now I'll just continue. I'll play it. So here she's a little bit off center. So I'll just move her again like this. So now if I play the video, you can see that it's already tracking her. She's in the middle, all the way to here. And then of course, here she's a little bit off center again. That's why I pause it. And then I just move her to the middle. I'll play the video again. Here she's not in the middle. I pause it. I adjust it. I play it. Pause. Adjust. Play it. Pause. Adjust. You can see all the keyframes are appearing, right? So I play, pause, adjust, play, pause, adjust. Like this. You can see all these keyframes are coming out. Play, pause, adjust. Like this. And now when I play the video, you can see that because of all these keyframes that we added, it's tracking her and it's always keeping her to be in the middle. So remember, when it comes to tracking, you only need one keyframe at any time.